Hello, welcome back to the Sacred Empowerment Summit. I'm so excited to introduce Stephanie to you, this beloved intuitive coach. She is a specialist in intuitive decision making, and she is trained in organizational psychology, and she's the founder of Inflow CEO Consultant. Currently, she assists visionary entrepreneurs to clarify, energize, and optimize their business systems. She focuses on creating a business that supports your greatest gifts and financially supports you to expand your reach. That sounds awesome. Yeah, I had the pleasure of working with you a couple of years ago, and it was wonderful. I was so inspired, and that's why I wanted to bring you back and work with you in this way. And from your Facebook post, I get this image of a graceful mother who's balancing work and intuition and supporting others. And so I just wanted to take a moment and ask you some questions on grace and how it empowers your life. And
I'm really excited to be here. Thank you so much for thinking of me. I think, I think this is a really powerful topic. And I just feel so honored that I'm here today. So thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. So what does grace mean to you?
For me, it's a term that I often say. So when you reach out to me, it was just this confirmation of I truly believe that grace is that extension of understanding and a deeper level of compassion, of listening with compassion, showing up with compassion. And I think when you extend grace, there's a natural, going with the flow energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's let's just read the consciousness of the fact that we all have good intentions. They just don't always come off the way that we want them to. Mm-hmm. And I think when you can extend grace to others, it's like extending the best possible outcome for them. Mm-hmm. You're seeing them in the best light. You're seeing yourself in the best light. For me, that's what grace is.
Oh, that's beautiful. How do you cultivate more grace for your life?
I think the biggest thing is two practices that I do. One is self-appreciation. And I know this might be, oh yes, but no, it's like a deep appreciation for even the honest truth. So for example, if I'm having a bad day or, I'm feeling really down, or maybe I just yelled at my kid because I'm stressed out and he's 3 and he's running around like crazy. We're trying to get out of the house and get in school in time, and, things get stressful. I do a practice of self-appreciation, of authenticity. So it's like, wow, I really appreciate how stressed out I'm feeling right now. I really appreciate the power of my presence to feel like I'm not in my body right now. I feel I appreciate just honoring whatever is coming up in a really loving way. And by doing that, it's extending grace to myself. And it's not about I see people appreciating, but only finding the things that they can appreciate. To me, dedication to self-appreciation is appreciating and honoring everything that comes up, by truly honoring, seeing it, loving it, and gracefully accepting that even those things that we don't necessarily love to show ourselves or others, or, like to think of ourselves in that way, even that is a part of us. And when you accept,
sorry.
That's okay. It's confirmation. See,
I know.
I see sounds like that as confirmation. So
good.
Me, it's a confirmation that grace can be provided in every moment, good or bad. And that if we can release the judgment, honor, hold space, really witness those parts of ourselves that we tend to cut off, that it actually brings more love. It expands our ability to receive grace and to give grace, and to be compassionate with ourselves.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The more we can do it for ourselves, the more we can offer it to others. Yeah. Do you have a story you'd like to share about how grace got you through?
Oh gosh, there's so many.
Right.
I think there, and it's interesting as I was, tuning into this and asking about this. I think the biggest story I can share is anywhere where I've tried to be perfect. So as an entrepreneur, I ran my business for 10 years. I was super successful. I was a high achiever at a very young age. I did a lot of things at a young age, despite some tragedies. I had my brother who was murdered when I was 18, and several different deaths within a 7-year period that was really intense. And through that hardship, I still survived, and I was able to find, solid ground. And then I became a mom in the middle of my 30s. And, I would have to say is becoming a mom and lack of sleep and lack of, understanding of what you think this is, because it's a lot. It's a pressure, there's so much pressure of like, I'm building a human and I'm supporting this, this human to be a being of light and to bring this presence and compassion to the world. I had to extend a lot of grace to myself, from like learning to let go of things, learning to not have to do it all. I had to extend grace often in like my moodiness, because I don't know about you, but 2 years with less than 3 hours of sleep at a time,
Right.
toll, right? It took its toll. And so for me, where grace was extended is I looked at my, things that I was committed to, and I released things. I I let go of certain things that maybe were no longer serving me. And for me, becoming a mom and an entrepreneur, I extend grace daily. And it's literally like an energy that I hold in my soul. I truly believe that, like, when you can extend grace to yourself, when you can extend grace to others, it's literally bringing the, like, bringing the energy of what is possible from a place of deep love, of deep witnessing, of deep, just complete deep compassion. And when we can live in that state, especially as a mom or an entrepreneur or people with multiple things going around, releasing any level of that burden of perfection. So for me, that's where grace has come in, is like any area where I felt like I needed to be perfect,
Right.
to be loved, to be accepted, to be the person that I wanted to become. I realized that as a mom, nothing's perfect.
Yeah, it's like we're perfectly imperfect, right?
We are. We're perfectly imperfect. And I call it the human side of life, right? We're like the human side. The human part gets cut. The human part has, cries. The human part is real and raw. And anytime we try to strive to be perfect, it's actually, we're losing something of ourselves. So for me as a mom, there's many stories of extending grace.
Oh, I get it. So, Stephanie, how can people reach you?
Oh gosh. Okay. So I would love for them to either reach out on Facebook. My personal page is very full. So go to my business page, Inflow CEO. It really is about building a business that reads energy. I teach entrepreneurs about this inner mastery, going within, really diving deep into what their vision is, what their business is, what their calling is, who they're here to serve. Because I truly believe if you're being called to be of service in a big way, I believe we've scripted for certain souls for you to hear a message from you in a certain way. Like you and I could say the same message, but they needed to hear it from your voice.
Right.
They needed to hear from my voice. They needed to hear, like we make packs of who we're going to be illuminated by, who we're going to learn by. And that doesn't always mean an easy path. Right. Some teachers sign up, what I call, we call the dark teachers, right? Sometimes we sign up to learn by the shadow. Sometimes we learn from that. And so I teach entrepreneurs how to leverage that energetic sensitivity, their intuition, their instinct into the calling of their business. And so I would love for them to come and greet me at Inflow CEO. I also offer a complimentary session, but there's some really cool stuff that I'm going to put together for you. I'll send you over a package of just like getting into doing some visioning, like really teaching how to cultivate a deeper vision and to tune into some of their money expansion. Because as I know, when we do this work, sometimes we have to extend a lot of grace around how we ask for money, how we stand in our value. And I think it's a perfect place for us to have a lot of grace around that and find the way that we can ask for it in a very self-honoring as well as self-appreciating perspective in our business.
No, absolutely. Thank you so much, Stephanie.